Hello everyone, welcome back to another update for New World FX. So today we'll be going over week 5 and week 6 of the trading that has been taking place from the 5k challenge. So the week starts off looking at long positions based on previous resistance of an area that I've marked out in yellow. This area ties up with higher time frame resistance areas I marked out. So unfortunately, I was looking for a third spike down there before taking this position. Would have been a great trade if you had taken it over 100 pips long, which would have been brilliant. But unfortunately, I never got a retest down there for the third spike before going for it. So unfortunately, that trade was not taken. Moving on now, um, resistance we're seeing in this area here, uh, almost making three spikes in there. Didn't make the third spike. Very close. You could have taken it if you had taken it. We would have hit two targets, the first and second, and probably would have come back up to hit stop loss or adjusted stop loss I would take on the third one. So that would have been roughly 7%, 9%, sorry, 2, 5, and 2. So following the big move here, I thought I was looking at resistance in this area, came back once lower, I came twice lower, I came back for third try, entered in third, unfortunately didn't make it. So that was a bad trade by me. Um, Next trade here, I can enter this by mistake. I was looking at making a sell limit on this. Unfortunately, I did a market execution on MT4, so I closed it early. I think I've made a few, maybe 5, 6 pips, nothing major on it. So I decided to mark it out just for clarification. If anyone was watching the my FX book, they would have seen that the trade was closed early. Third trade taken, major resistance along this area. As you would have seen, the early execution came lower. We stayed in there for 3 or 4 spikes, came lower, another spike lower. Then in London session, came right back up, and to keep my 12 pip stop loss above this area, I kind of waited for it to go much higher, and I entered around here. So if I just zoom out there, so our 1 is 2 would have been hit at the end of the London session, came right back up, kind of fiddled with my entry, but never actually a stop loss, which is great. Then over the, as a pre-London session open, we hit TP2, and then TP3 was just missed. So I think we missed it by like 2 pips or so, or even less. So TP3 was never hit, unfortunately. We came back up and would have hit my adjusted stop loss of 2%. So that's 9% there for that trade. Re-enter that area again. So again, I made another entry based on this level, but unfortunately we kept going forward. For anyone that would have been looking at the higher time frames, would have been worth noting that both this area, this area, and this area mapped up perfectly with a 73% resistance or retest on the Fibonacci on higher time frames. So if you're using fibs, there would have been 3 great entries there to mark out higher highs. So then look at next week. Worth noting as well that at week 6 is where I started my FTMO challenge. I'll be going through that later on, but anyone following me on Instagram would know I started that this week, going well. So I'll go through the trades that I would have taken. So first 2 trades here were taken based on resistance on the higher time frame. Unfortunately, didn't work out. Lost 3% in each one of them on my personal account, and a total of 1% each on the FTMO challenge account. Third trade went perfectly. Major resistance along this area, spiked in there multiple times, failing to break it, and made the full 2%, 5%, and 7% before the start of London session the following day. So that was great. What's that? 2% loss, 9% gain, 7% up. So this was a resistance area that I would have marked out previously. So it would have broken this area here to make the higher highs above here. So I presumed it was going to continue on in that momentum. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, actually broke, but that does indicate that bearish momentum was following on. So I waited for this to come back up, not only just to hit this area because we have this large resistance area or consolidation area that I was looking at. So it's come back up to the nearly the top of this, entered at the end of the London session. So unfortunately, we never actually closed the 2%, but I kept the trade open. We came very close. Let me just zoom in there for everyone. So we came very close to 2% overnight. Unfortunately, we didn't, which is fine. Came back up and retested our area once more, and London started and just dropped. Hit our 2% there at the start of the US session. Kept going. Hit our 5%. I'm sorry, mixed up. So 2% was hit London, 5% hit start of US, and 7% hit further on today. So that's another 9% that day. And that was into the trading there for that week. We could have entered here for another retest of this area, would have taken the 2% target, never would have hit the 5% target. So if I just mark that out here. So the furthest we would have come down is 55 pips. So 60 pip target for TP2 would not have been taken. It would have come back up and hit the entry period by the end of the day. So just to look at the 5K challenge on my FX book. So as you can see, growing pretty steadily over the last couple of weeks. Still taking a few losses, which is normal. Don't worry about those. You're not going to win every trade. You will be enticed into some trades. As I said, looking at higher time frames, you will see major resistance areas. You will be enticed to jump in. Don't worry about that. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. Keep your risk reward stable. Keep your risk per trade low. And you will never be at risk of blowing the account if you take too many bad trades. As you can see at the start, I came down to minus 11% on my account, 11.5. Came back up to break even, came back down to nearly 9%, and been steadily growing ever since. 18% up and down to nearly 12%, up to 21, down to 18.8, and now up at 39.6. So one thing we'll notice as well, over the last 2 weeks, I believe I've changed my lot size to keep the 1% risk per trade. Excuse me. So now running at 0.55 lots per trade. So I will be raising that again because I'm now up at almost 7K in this account. So that's a 40% increase in the account in the last, how long I'm doing this, 6 weeks. So yeah, great progression there. To go into the FMTO challenge I mentioned recently. So anyone that was following me on Instagram seen that last Sunday or Monday, I posted the details of the FMTO challenge from my account to show that I'm set up there for the first phase of the challenge. So anyone that doesn't know anything about FMTO a challenge, simply just type in this URL. You'll get all the detail. So basically, you need to get 2 phases of a challenge to be in with a chance to get a funded account. I don't know all the details. I haven't done a whole look into what happens at the end of 2 stages. Do you automatically get the funded account? I think you do, but anyone that currently has one, please let me know or put a comment in below. So what I've gone for is, obviously I'm in the European Union, I'm in Ireland, so I'm using the Euro account, using normal risk. I went for the 80K challenge. I paid 540 for the phase 1 challenge. There's no fee for the phase 2 challenge, but there are some requirements you have to meet. So I had to be trading for 30 days with every account. That's standard enough. So 1 month basically. You have to be trading a minimum of 10 days in these 30 days. So you can't just make one big trade in the first day, hit your targets, and that's it, job done. Because as we all know, you might have 1 or 2 great days of trading, you might have 1 or 2 bad days. If your risk reward isn't set correctly or your your lot size is too large, you could potentially blow all the winnings from that good trade in the next couple of days. So my max stop loss per day, so 4K for the 80K count is 5%. So I'm using 1% between my three TPs. So for every trade that I lose roughly 800. But I think I'm gaining, is it a 1 is a 4 on average, I think it is. Okay. So the max loss in total on the account is 8K. So I can't go any lower than 72 or I fail the challenge. The challenge profit target, 8K, 10% again. So I have to make 8K in 10 training days within the 30 days total to pass this challenge. So let's see how I'm doing. Okay. So as you see, start date 19th of April. I think that was a Sunday. Challenge is going on until the 18th of May. Deposit, it is the demo account now for the challenge. 80K, FTMO, MP4 platform. So as you can see, as per what I went through on TradingView, first 2 or 3 trades, I think I took a loss, went down to minus 1,600. Next trade, big boost up, back into profit, 1,400 in profit. Took and lost in, down to only 800 in profit, and then last trade in up as far as 3,900. So in total, I opened, I think, 6 trades, I believe. So only trading for 3 days. Max loss 1,400. Max loss allowed 8,000. So my max loss in total was 1.9. My profit target. So I'm currently up 3,900. So I need to trade for another 7 days over the next 3 weeks. And I need to make 4,100 roughly to pass the challenge. So if we can keep this progression going, obviously we might stagger a bit to get there, but hopefully we'll make that 8K and just trade safe in to pass the challenge. I'll keep you updated as I go along. If I hit the 8K next week, unlikely, but no, we'll see how it goes. We won't push our luck too much. We still have 7 trading days to make the 4K, so we won't take too many risks here. Keep the lot size nice and low, keep the risk per trade nice and low, and there should be no reason why you shouldn't be able to make this 8K 10%. Okay, so any questions, drop me a DM on Instagram, leave a comment below. Any feedback that you have on the FTMO challenge, folks, by all means, leave it below. I'm sure everyone would love to hear how other people that did an FTMO challenge got on. So good luck to all of you, and I'll see you on the next update. Good luck.